Hello and welcome to today's podcast. We are here for podcast 21. And we are here with Snoop Dogg himself on 420. Casey.
What is up, my diggity dogs? I don't know where I was going with that. What is up, guys?
You smoke weed every day, Casey?
Oh, yeah.
Alright, so today's podcast, I just figured we throw that in there. Just for memes. Today's podcast we're talking about, if you guys did not check out our video from yesterday, we did play competitive Overwatch in our regular Overwatch series because we figured, hey, let's do it for fun. So, it was pretty cool. I know you enjoyed doing that, Casey.
Oh, yeah.
So in that video, I believe we did the first 3 matches in that video. We won 2 of our 3 matches, okay? We won Route 66 with our great strategy, lost Hollywood barely, and we won Lijiang Tower. Now, since then, things haven't really gone as good. So, first of all, why don't you explain how we won Route 66, my dude, so everybody knows if they didn't watch that video.
Alright, so the way we won Route 66, me and Curtis teamed up on defense as Bastion and Torbjorn to essentially counter anybody that was at the spawn as they're coming through. So we have them pinned down at spawn while the people underneath us are coming in and fucking them up. Also, we had a Reinhardt and a Orisa there helping us out at the top every now and then, which really did power up our defenses and allowed us to get crazy kill streaks. I was at like 34. Curtis, what were you at?
I think I was at like 16 or 17.
Yeah, so we got a lot of kills off that, and definitely did do really well.
Obviously, Torbjorn does get more kills than Bastion because you have a turret that automatically just traces for itself where Bastion has to move, and you also can shoot as Torbjorn, so that was the thing.
Yes. For the attack, I had taken into account that they might try and copy our strategy. So what I went and done is I came up with a counter strategy to our strategy, which essentially, if you're going to have a badass force that's unstoppable, you have to come up with a counter that stops that badass force that's unstoppable.
Especially when you do defense. If you do defense first, you definitely have a counter for it. If you're on attack first, which I think that is better for both of us, that way nobody can tell where we're going to do our strategy so they can copy it. But you had Ana and I had Sombra. Right? Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I was in the back,
sniping hose.
continuously sniping Torbjorn's. Actually, no. First, I had taken out Bastion, because you can easily put Bastion to sleep as Ana, and then just continuously take him out using your sniper. And the same way as Torbjorn. Torbjorn cannot heal his turret as fast as Ana is shooting it down, and it does continual damage every time. So if you're just sitting there spamming the attack of the sniper on Torbjorn's turret, then you're automatically guaranteed to take it out after a few seconds. So, and Curtis, I believe he was hacking hose.
Yeah, we went up there, and when I went up, Casey started to take onto the Bastion. So they had a Hanzo up there. Great idea. And they also had a Mercy. So the Mercy, I liked that idea. But then they tried to copy with Reinhardt, so they had like their whole team up there. And we stopped in. I think they only went 8 meters, so all we had to do was go 9 meters. And we were able to obviously get that pretty quickly. Then our next match, so that one really worked out well for us. That was our first time since re-entering competitive, because my friend had said, if you Casey has Reaper, Mei, Torbjorn, Symmetra, and Ana. I have D.Va, Orisa, Sombra, Bastion, and Tracer. The only reason I have Tracer over Winston is because I can have more than just 3 tanks. Which probably is a good idea for certain maps. So then we went to Hollywood. We were really pushing through as Reaper, and sort of got fucked up as well. So we came close at Hollywood, but they had already reached the point when we came to the second part, when it was our turn to attack, and we were not able to get there to tie it up. Lijiang Tower, I played as D.Va. Casey played as Mei. And we lost the first point, I believe, but we won the next two or 3 points, whatever, how many we had to get. And we just win there, so it was pretty easy. Now let me just continue to go down the list here of the other matches that we did. So we did another one. Else takes the character you're playing as. You obviously want to do that. And then we went to Nepal, lost. Temple of Anubis, lost. Ekenwald, lost once, kind of got destroyed in the beginning of competitive. And since then we've fallen down to below 500. So I think we're pretty proud of that. So I know, Casey, you're the one that does a little bit more of the strategies at each map. Obviously, yep. I have my strategies, but you're more the strategy guy, because I'm always the guy that just runs in and gets blown back 90% of the time. So you're the strategy guy. So why don't you give us a little bit of a breakdown of a couple of these maps? I'll call out a map that we played at and obviously lost because we talked about our 2 wins. And why don't you just say how we could have improved at those maps? Because, again, you're really the guy that does the strategy on our team. Of course, we have not done Oasis, Kingsrow, Ilios, and Numbani yet. So the ones that we have done, how could we improve at Temple of Anubis?
Temple of Anubis on what, attack or defense?
Just do both.
Alright, so attack, definitely, I want to try a new strategy. We went with Symmetra and Sombra on defense originally, which did, in my opinion, work out. But the enemy team went for a Symmetra and Sombra as well, so that didn't really quite. That wasn't something I was prepared for.
I feel like we didn't
because
necessarily
Sombra just teleported through, and I couldn't do anything about that. And then the whole team teleported through after the Sombra took out my turrets, and everything just fell apart. So
it really did.
We need to find a better strategy for if they pick Sombra and Symmetra. And I feel like Mei, if we have to fall back to point B, would be a good option.
I think Mei and D.Va are good options for that one. I mean, even Orisa could be. See, the thing is, Orisa and D.Va are really interchangeable most of the time. The only difference really is that D.Va can boost, and her ultimate does damage, where Orisa's amplifies damage. So it's really, what do you want more? You know, do you want to get places fast and have more destructive power, or do you want to be more of the defensive character but still have a lot of attacking power? Yeah, but I think on that map we definitely could, if we're talking defense, Mei and I think Orisa probably would be a little bit better for defense actually on that map. If we did a Mei Orisa combination on defense at point B, I think we would be fine. But I think for point A, we got to switch it up a little bit as well. Like, your part was good with Symmetra, but I feel like switching up my character. Because Sombra is a character that I like to play as, but once the whole main point of using the character gets broken down by the other team, because really my whole point is, I try to go around and hack the health as much as possible. That's really my main using of her. I know technically I could be in there fighting and hacking people, but I'm not really good at that yet, because I really haven't played as her as that much time. So, you know, it's something that we could work on. But better start. So what would you do at point A? What would I use at point A, you think, to defend?
What are your characters again? Ursa, D.Va, Bastion, Barbara, and
Tracer.
Tracer. I do think that I don't know.
I
I'm
think
trying
that
to
I could.
think.
I think I could defend a little bit as Orisa. I mean, Bastion's okay, but you have to get to the right point. But I think we learned a little bit about Bastion at Anubis that could be helpful.
Mm.
When we did our fucking 6-on-6 whack shit, um, I think that we could definitely learn something from that. And Bastion, I think I either go with Bastion or Orisa personally. I don't know what you think on that.
Um,
Lit, lit.
Personally, yeah, I do think that we can try and amplify, but it's just
The thing about that
I'm trying to
ultimate
think.
is that it gets destroyed pretty easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the thing with Orisa is good for getting at that main entranceway, like before you get to that bridge that you put on your turrets. Orisa's good for I think before that point. But if you have to fall back any further, you want to have Bastion set up at point A. I mean, actually, if you played Torbjorn there, you could actually set up the point A a little bit as well. So what would you do on attack there, my dude?
Um, Attack. I'm not sure because I would personally want to go for a offensive combo, but I do want to try something new. I'm not sure.
I could
I'm
see
trying
an
to think
Ana
here.
D.Va combo.
Yeah.
I could see you jumping
The
up on top of that thing and sniping, and I go in the bottom and take him out.
the only problem with that is that um during the first point it's gonna be kind of hard. Well, Anna can't really jump,
Okay.
so she can't really get up high. She is a sniper, but she is not the kind of sniper that would be effective in sitting down at a point combat.
Hmm. Okay. I mean, you could go May as well and block him up at the entrance.
Yeah.
Now here's a quick detour from. I think we sort of figured that out because we've done May D.Va there before and it's worked out. If you were to add a sixth character to your list, who would that character be?
Probably just for a different angle, Farah.
See, I'm trying to just get this down here as well so we can also use another character with another combination. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What is Far? Is she attack or defense?
She's assault. Or attack, whatever, yeah.
Okay. Okay, so I will throw Winston on my list. So we sort of have more options here. They're not really characters that we're super good at either, since we haven't really played them that much. But they are there if we have to try something else. Okay, so what about... I'm gonna say Eichenwald. We done two maps, two times at Eichenwald. We had a draw once and we had a loss once. What would you do at Eichenwald?
What I do at Eichenwald, I personally would probably go Reaper and Uh, um, D.Va?
Or is this for both attack and defense?
Yeah.
Alright, I was gonna say the same thing. Why would you pick these ones specifically?
Because you have a different angle. You can go around, and actually going around and attacking from the back is a very good option. So you might want to try and look into that.
Yeah.
Um, because we can attack from the front, and then they'll see you're coming from the back and be like, "Oh shit, take him out!" And then the whole team can move up and push into the point. Um, and then we could go ahead and for me, Reaper, because I could get an angle on them by teleporting around. Obviously, my teleport has a very decent range, so I could go around the whole entire spawn, or not spawn, but point, and just play with them. So we'll see about that. And I'm not that bad on Ekmal with Reaper. It's just the last time we happened to get some pretty good people, we had a shit team. So
Yeah. Okay, so I think that we've gone over a couple maps that we could do, competitive wise. So, why don't we talk about what we think our best combination of characters, our best two, are to wrap up today's podcast?
um, in what sense? Like for
Well,
defense, for
why don't we
attack?
do our best attack group first? Because remember, you have Reaper, May, Torbjorn, Symmetra, Ana, Farah to choose from, and I got D.Va, Orisa, Sombra, Bastion, Tracer, and Winston to choose from. Who's your best combination of the two
Um,
on
Probably for all.
attack?
You said offense first. Oh
On
yeah.
attack, yeah.
Uh, Probably Reaper and D.Va just because of the damage output,
Mm-hmm.
and also we have some defense in there with you, and
I
I
got a
have the
shield, yeah.
ability to avoid some of the damage on my part and go and heal up with the souls I collect.
No, I know for myself, Diva is my best character that I play as. So obviously, I agree with you on that. Do you think Reaper is the best character you play as? Like that
Uh,
you're the best at playing?
no, I think May is.
Okay. So I do agree with you on attack though, because Reaper does deal a lot of damage. Obviously, Diva deals a lot of damage. And another thing about Diva is that if your mech is destroyed, you still can live. So that's pretty helpful as well. And if you're able to get into the fight, which I'm better at getting into the fight now without my mech, I can really boost up that ultimate to re-get my mech. And what about on defense? Well,
Um,
why don't we do two different defense? Okay, because we have defense where we obviously set up, and it's easy to play as Torbjorn and Bastion. You know, set up on defense, that's what we're gonna pick. But if we're not setting up on defense, like it's a map that you can't really get a good point to do that. Who would you pick?
um, Wait, what did you just say?
So obviously we have certain maps that we set up on. Like say Route 66. We know who we're picking on defense there. It's Torbjorn Bastion. Pretty simple. But if there was a map that you can't easily set up like that, like you have to be more on the
So,
ground defense. Who are you picking?
uh, mobility wise, May and Ursa.
I was gonna say the same thing. You can build your ice wall pretty easily, and do that. And obviously, you have the ability to put yourself into the ice bullshit for what is that? 5 seconds, 10 seconds, something like that.
Yeah.
And obviously, Orisa has a shield, which is pretty helpful. And obviously, the thing where she goes gold, which would you not take any damage when you do that? So that's obviously both pretty helpful things. And actually, that little ball that Orisa shoots that pulls everything towards her is actually pretty good. Hey, that's pretty good. Like, that shit actually does put in the work. So I do think that is our best pair on defense. So our three best pairings, guys, on attack we have Reaper and D.Va. Setting up, it's pretty obvious. On defense, we got Trojan and Bastion. And on defense, more mobility-wise, having to move around, maybe you can't get a good angle to set up. With Trojan and Bastion, we would go with Orisa and Mei. But if we want to have the pair for us to just go all out and play our best character, you'd have D.Va and Mei. So any other comments you got about how our competitive has gone so far since we've rejoined the competitive matches?
Being honest, the competitive has not gone all that well. Our strategies, I know, can work. After some decent planning, I'm sure we can get strategies down pat, and it'll hopefully work out in that favor. But picking, and
Oh yeah, we get put on.
fighting.
Like we had a
Also,
team that we were on with. What, we had 3 silver on our team. We still lost.
Yeah.
The other thing is that if we're going to a map and we have our plan set up and somebody picks the character, that definitely does hurt us. Most of the time. The only time it didn't hurt was at Lijiang Tower, which actually helped us by not picking D.Va, because then we sort of learned we can play as both Orisa. Well, I can play as both Orisa and D.Va on Lijiang Tower. But besides that, most of the times we've gone to a map and it tends to be my characters get picked more, especially D.Va, Orisa, and Bastion, which is half my selection. They tend to get picked a little bit more than for Casey. His might be Reaper gets picked pretty quickly, but besides that, I tend to either get D.Va or Orisa. The nice thing is that they are pretty interchangeable characters. Obviously, what we stated before makes them different. That actually did hurt us. What map did that hurt us on? Not having D.Va? Hanamura, yeah. Hanamura, because on defense, it didn't matter. But we were getting blown back on the first point on defense. So I switched from Bastion to, I don't know, what was it? D.Va, or I think it was D.Va. I switched to. We actually lost that point. Then we went back and I was like, we were at point B. I'm like, yo, I want to switch to Bastion. Somebody switched to Bastion. So I lost that. Then we went to go do attack, and I had D.Va the first time around, and it worked out pretty quickly. Then we go back to defense. I'm like, I'm going to pick Bastion again. But the person still had Bastion, so I couldn't pick Bastion, so I picked somebody else, and we were able to... Did we lose that point on defense? I think we did, yeah, because I think...
Yeah, just about a little.
Yeah, so we lost that on defense. And then we went to go on to attack. So I'm like, alright, I need to pick D.Va again, because there's a little opening at the top to get into the main area that I was going to boost through. But the person that had picked Bastion the whole time that I couldn't play as then decided to pick D.Va. So I just switch it up and go onto the ground as Orisa. And I was actually able to barely make it in, because we could have got the point so much faster, which ended up hurting us in the end, because we didn't have enough to get to the next point, because I was the last one to show up to the last point, but did not get there in time because I couldn't just boost over from the back way to enter the building. I had to go around to the front, which took more time, and we lost. Because I had to play as Orisa and not D.Va. So we lost because of that. Not solely because of that, but that could have gave the rest of the team more time to get back and respawn.
Yeah.
So that kind of sucked, but Hanamura and Hollywood are 2 losses that we took that we think are the best ones that we had an opportunity to get the win at, because they both came really close into the end. Hollywood, our team just couldn't get to that final little push forward, and Hanamura, the pick between D.Va and Orisa, was what won us or lost us the game. And obviously it resulted in a loss. So thank you guys for watching today's podcast. And we'll see you guys next week for podcast number 22.